Come on, Frank. Right, good morning YouTube, Chris here, the Country Coach Gardener. Hope you're all well. What a beautiful morning it is here. It does make me chuckle. I'm out on my morning walk with Frank, Border Terrier cross pug. And as I walk through this park area, it's a little bit of a bird sanctuary behind. It's gorgeous. I hope the camera does pick up the sounds of the wildlife going behind me. But there's another chap that brings his dog out for a walk. And the cat comes along with them as well. It doesn't go on a lead, but he just follows behind. It always just makes me chuckle. Definitely couldn't do that with my Frank here, because he's not just a border terrier. He's more a border terrorist, if I'm honest, because he's a typical terrier, and yeah, he's certainly not friends with cats. Anyway, welcome back to another day in the life, 002. It's a Tuesday, and I thought I'd just take you along. And we'll do a little bit of hard landscaping at one of my regular clients. I've got various tasks to do. I've got some stock fencing to finish off. I've got a pathway in a veg garden to reset some of the slabs in there. They're all a bit higgledy-piggledy. That's going to be a bit Heath Robinson. It's not really a job which it's not going to be sand and cement, and you know, it's a veg garden. It's making it more of a less of a trip hazard, let's say, on there. I've got various other things to do, which I'll be honest, I'm still a bit blurry-eyed. I can't really remember, but I'll remember along the way. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and if you haven't already, I'm sure you will. Like, subscribe, and there's my biggest critiques there, laying an egg. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. My little seedlings. So I've jumped straight into the job, cracked on and finished off a little bit of this stock fencing which I started last week. I did a full video, well, just a little 7-minute last week on that, So I'll just throw the camera around, you can have a little look, but I urge you to go back and have a little look at that video as well if you've got time. So this is the inside of the veg garden. Did that bit along to the popular tree last week, and I've just gone and put this cast iron roofing stuff back on here and literally just banged a couple more posts in. So these are the 2 piles of muck that we have. This is literally all the horse stuff, some chicken bits in there as well, and we've got the the rotted pile over there. So it's literally 1 year old, and we just put the heavy tarp over it, and it makes really good compost within a year. I'm just going to have a coffee before I start on to my next job of the day, but I'd just like to say thank you to Andy, the fully charged gardener. I'm sure you're aware of his channel. He's an ambassador for Stihl, and I thought I'd be a little bit cheeky today, wear his merchandise with my old Stihl braces and trousers along with the Echo cap. Just a little bit of cheekiness going on there. Anyway, the next job I'm going to be doing is, again, it's not precision work, this is only a veg garden, and it's got a chopper going overhead. Any little unusual noises apart from the birds here, it really stands out. He's circled over a few times today. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so this path here, normally with a path you would put type 1 sub base underneath and you compact it down, and then you would go in with a sand and cement mix over the top. This is just literally a veg garden path, nothing overly special, but it's gradually just sort of moved a little bit and slipped and what have you, which is going to happen because they're not heavy slabs. Now last year I didn't film it, but I had some of these really heavy duty council slabs, and these weigh an absolute ton. Those, they are just so heavy. But anyway, these are the little 450 by 450s. I'm just going to raise them up, and what I'm going to do is just put the tiller through this bit, you know, just rough up the ground, rake it through, put the string line, and just dry lay the slabs back down. I would like to do the same with these heavy duty slabs underneath these lima trees here, but it's not going to get done this year. I'm only doing this because I'm a little bit of ahead within the garden so far at this time of year. I've got one other job I'd like to do today as well before I go, but we'll come to that one in a minute. Anyway, let's just put a little bit of relaxing music on for you, and you can enjoy watching me do this bit. Well, I've just taken those slabs out. They didn't take much at all, but I thought I'd show you and talk to you about, this is one of the reasons that I absolutely love my job, and I find this so fascinating, and I can get a bit geeky if I'm honest, but finding out so much more about the ground. I mean, here previously, was it last year, beginning of last year, we had moles in the garden, and it's always tricky, but they were actually coming up there, and I've lifted the slabs and found some of the mole runs. So here's one where it's obviously gone round under this slab, underneath the raspberries overway. But you can see here how he's come through, probably from the field that direction, and done a little U-turn here, and then come back round, and has gone off down that way and down to where he was over there. Also had a bit of action for him through here, through this one, and there's a bit more up here as well. Quite a lot through here, to be honest, but why not? It's ideal underneath these raised beds which I made a few years back. I find that's where the mattock went through there. But I find it fascinating how it's come through, stopped, gone back, stopped, gone back round here, that it stopped there, so he's decided to take this route, gone that way, stopped because it's probably hit the hardcore, because I put a load of hardcore underneath these sleepers here. He's come round and tried digging in all these different directions, and has finally gone off into this direction. Now if we look through here, all of these, I bet he's running underneath these slabs, but here we are, clear out hole, clear out hole, clear out hole, hole, and all the way there. Absolutely fascinating. Now I'll give you a few little details about moles. They're fascinating. They're actually mammals. They're haemophiliacs. So haemophilia is the higher red blood cells in the body, and they have a higher red to white blood cells because of the hemoglobin in the blood, and the hemoglobin is all to do with oxygen, and you have a higher red blood cell count to bring more, basically to get more oxygen around the body as such, because underground the oxygen is less, so you have a higher hemoglobin. It's a bit like alpacas, they're also haemophiliacs, but they live at altitude, similar sort of thing. There's less oxygen, higher up you go, further down you go, less oxygen. So they cut themselves and they can bleed to death. Not very good sort of it's a bit of a kryptonite thing for them, isn't it, really? That you wouldn't think anything which is digging around natural iron ore, especially here as well, the ground is so flinty, you cut yourself, you could bleed to death. The Victorians used to put rose hips and broken glass and blackthorn and everything down the holes, down the mole runs, in the hope that he would cut himself and bleed to death. Pretty brutal way to go. What else do we know about them? They're also hermaphrodites. So hermaphrodite being a species which has the ability for both sexes, so male and female, but they don't have both anatomy, you know, being a male and female. What the female has is their clitoris is external and they urinate through it like a penis. So that's very unique to mammals. There's a lot of you going, "Yee, it's a penis on YouTube. Oh, it's so funny, clitoris and penis in one conversation. Oh, in the country cottage gardener, sleazy." Anyway, that's a fun little facts for you. So they're haemophiliacs and hermaphrodites. Quite unique, really, but as I say, fascinating. And there's loads of myth and mystery all about them, because it all goes back to the Victorian times, where the molemen would go from farm to farm, catch the moles and hang them up by their noses on the barbed wire to show off their bounty, to show off their skills. And basically there's not so much difficulty to finding out about moles and how to catch them if that takes your fancy. But they wanted to keep it mystery, and they wanted to keep it all mythical, like people say about windmills in the lawn. The sound of the windmill going will drive it the moulder crazy. It will send it away. Well, that's absolute tosh, because if you look along the railway line, they're noisy, aren't they, with the old trains going up and down. You get loads of moles. If anything, you get more moles. And if anybody who has done a lot of mowing and they've got moles on the lawn, they'll know that the mole activity is quite prevalent after they've mowed, and that's because of early bird catches the worm. So if you've ever seen a seagull or any birds dancing on the lawn in the morning, what they're doing is emulating rain. so stimulating the soil, pattering up and down, you know, with their little feet, because worms are quite nosy creatures and they want to come up and have a little look at the rain and get a bit of moisture if the ground's dry. And of course the bird doing this will get the worms up, and then the bird will eat the worm. So with the mower is going to be stimulating the ground, making it vibrate. The vibrations will get the worms going, and of course the worms will get the moles going. There you go. Fact number 3 for you. Anyway, let's get the tiller out, give this a go through here. I think I'm going to take the opportunity just to cut off some of these roots from the raspberry canes as well, because they are creeping this way into this part of the veg garden. So we'll just take the opportunity to cut those off. People screaming at this. Put on gloves. Not how you do it. This isn't Chelsea, darling. This isn't precision work. This is literally setting down slabs for function. Put some tools back in the van, try and tidy up as I go. Got some of the roots out, which was good. Yeah, that's this done. So basically got path re-established. I say this isn't a prestigious job. This isn't a job which is, these slabs are a lot better to work with, because these, they don't move, they're so heavy. So damn heavy in comparison to these ones. But yeah, I mean it's functionable now. We can get the wheelbarrow down here without too much of a bother, you know, before it's all bumping all over the place. And yeah, it's just done the job. We're not perfectly straight, we're not perfectly level. I didn't get a spirit level out of the van, but as it's a shame that I feel I have to justify this sort of thing, but it's not a precision job. It never was going to be. Oh. Right, okay. Just thought I'll put the camera on the wheelbarrow while I take a load of waste down to the bonfire. And just say that I did if you didn't see my community post I put up the other day, I did a podcast with J-Rock, Sir Sam Dorocki, and it was just an introduction really. He asked me to go on as a guest to chat about how I work and YouTube and all things like that. So if you want to, I've gone into a little bit more in detail about me and how I work and such than I have done in YouTube videos before. But if you think that might be something you'd be interested in listening to, I'll put in the description text the podcast and go give him a listen. Well, given to me, to be honest, I just chat for an hour and a half about how I work and how I came into the business and such, and a little bit more in depth about me as a person really. Yeah, so I'll put that link up there if that might be of interest to you. But the client has filled this wheelbarrow up with some fuchsia cutting backs and penstemon actually. I would have left that for another couple of weeks by the looks of it, but anyway, I'm going to empty this for them so they can actually do some work during the week, and then I can come back and empty it again for them. Saves them bringing it all the way down here, doesn't it? Right, okay, just loading up the van, putting the last few bits in, and I said the other, when did I do another video? It was a while back about my whiskey barrels, things like that I was upcycling. Just want to show you one that I made for these guys, because this being an old whiskey baron's place, it's quite apt that they had a few planters around and such, and over here they had a really dead old whiskey barrel, so I made them another water butt. This one's out of a sherry barrel, and this was about 2 weeks ago, and it is really filled up already, absolutely filled up. But I put a little tap in this one, so I put a tap in there just so that can be used, just enough room underneath there to get the watering can. You don't want it too high up, otherwise you waste all the, you know, the water levels and all that. There we are, literally just gathers off the roof and drips down into it. There you are. Anyway, that's it for another video. I've tried putting in little snippets of information and chat about, well, just little knowledge things really as I've gone, because I know that that is well received. But well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope everyone's keeping well. And if you're not like, subscribed and thumbs up and all that already, please do it, please, because please do it. It encourages us to want to make these videos, and yeah, it's just a bit of support, isn't it? Anyway, thank you very much. I'm not very good at the begging sort of thing, so why do it? And we'll catch up with another video soon. Cheers.